You may not know his name, but anyone living in Sioux Falls in recent years has felt his influence. Jim David, who spent more than a decade working for the city council, is now chief of staff to Sioux Falls Mayor Christine Erickson. In tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, Dan Santella introduces us to the person playing a main role in the mayor's office of South Dakota's biggest city.
Jim David has been attending Sioux Falls City Council meetings for well over a decade, but you may not have heard his voice until now.
I typically sit in the back row and I'm fairly quiet, but I do attend those meetings.
If you've been to a city council meeting, chances are you've met Jim David. You may not have had an interaction with him, but when you have, you know that you've been treated with respect.
As a legislative operations manager, David prepared ordinances and resolutions that provide a framework for the city.
I would draft those, and once a council member would bring forward an idea or a concept, and I'd send over to the city attorney's office. Later on, my position changed to chief administrative officer, where I began to manage the city council staff.
When I was on the city council for 8 years, I quickly began to realize how he was so respected with the directors, with other city councilors, and it was really about trust for me. When you're working with someone that has to work for 8 unique individual city councilors and have confidentiality and trust amongst each other, it just really speaks volumes about your character.
Erickson named David as her chief of staff. For the new mayor, David's institutional knowledge was a driving factor in picking him, but not the only reason.
I wanted somebody that could match my energy and know what my expectations are as well. One of the things, too, you heard me say a lot on the campaign trail is hit the ground running on day one. And I knew picking Jim would set me up for success in that instance, too.
With regard to Mayor Erickson, are you her confidant? Are you her policy wonk? Are you her advisor? Are you her sounding board? Are you all those?
I think I'm all those. You know, I worked with Mayor Erickson when she was on the city council for 8 years. We had worked together with several different policy matters, different ordinances and resolutions.
Erickson has been in office for less than a month, and any elected official's biggest challenges are often unforeseen from the perspective of the start of their time in office. David gives an example, and Erickson says he has the tools to navigate such moments.
You never know what the future holds. Who would have thought that we would have had COVID?
If there's an emergency, you have to be able to keep your cool and be able to work with multiple departments. You have to be able to act quickly and be available. And then also you have to be able to operate in a transparent fashion with the public and gain their trust. And so Jim has all those attributes.
When it comes to government, politics, and policy, developments at the national or state level can at times grab attention at the expense of local government. But when it comes to responding to a threat to public safety down the street or taking care of the roads on our commute, the first responders are often not from Washington or Pierre.
Local government is very personal. Your wastewater, the sewer, it's supported by the city. It's run by the city. The water that you drink, your streets, your safety. Local government is very personal.
Just like it's been personal for Jim David's career, one which continues as chief of staff. With Eye on KELOLAND, I'm Dan Santella.
When not concerning himself with local government, David enjoys gardening, time with his kids, and the Pittsburgh Steelers.